I think my old assessment of one property was $18,000, the last, and now it's 36. I'm not sure when I'd have to try to dig in my old record.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out when the last one was done. We were just approximating the late 90s, but we don't know without checking the records together.
But in seriousness, in response to your request about having somebody look at it, in all seriousness, that's the point of being here tonight. So if you raise enough concerns for Rick, Rick might say, I will go out and look at it. So I mean,
I visited with Rick the other day.
Yes.
so I mean, you can sure make a pitch for him to go take a look at it, he'll consider it, and you know, he may end up coming out.
I got at least 3 or 4 I'm going to look at for sure, and there might be more.
Will you look at all the written objections? Sure.
Yes,
All
yes.
of them?
Now, I've gone through calculations as far as how they compare to neighbors and things like that, but as far as there's 2 of those, at least I want to go out on, yeah, and more than likely more than that.
So on the proximity side of it, is it a higher benefit at the top of the line or bottom line in the divisions?
Typically higher, more of the systems you use. We didn't put a lot of weight on it because the idea is to get the same level of drainage everywhere. We use proximity in a big way for this one, way up in the corner, because it can go 2 ways. So that proximity made a huge difference. The rest of the area, we didn't have a big factor on that at all.
Do I need to meet with you and who are your 2 other people involved?
David Hunter Martin, Dick Nate.
Okay. But do I need to meet with the 3 of you to look at it?
That can be done.
I think you have to give Rick a reason to spend the money to come look, because every hour he's on the clock, it does cost. So he's trying to be efficient. He doesn't want to have his bill go through the roof. So if you can tell him why it would be beneficial, then he can decide whether it would be economically beneficial to come look.
Well, but just taking this information, is that enough for you, or?
If I have your objection and I've said I'll look at it again, I obviously will. If I haven't said that about yours,
But here tonight was the first I heard that anything went according to paving. And I say, this is bare ground, in fact, my wife is on the mowing right now. It's nothing but grass and such. No improvements of any kind on it. Yeah, I don't understand how we come up with this 40 and a half
okay,
figure.
that's the, okay, I have where I calculated and price per acre and 40.50, yeah. That's great. I'm gonna write on here right now, review this 40.5. And do you have a number where I can reach you?
Yeah. 515-368-1219. But it's basically a square city block. People that are getting their basements drained and paying about $200 a lot. The city block of 8 lots, that's $1,600 at most, not $45. And there's not even a house there or a
Okay.
building anything.
That's warrants a look,
Yeah.
definitely.
So I mean, it's way, way, way out of whack.
I will, yeah, I'll put it on the other list too, so I have them all here.
Is there any other objections before we move tonight? This will probably not be the last time you will be allowed to speak, and we're not taking any final action tonight. So we will reconvene again, you know, to go over any of these discrepancies we've got. So the trustees can hear, Rick will have to tell us, you know, what it is that he's going to change or what it is he's doing. If there are any other objections, we will be allowed at that time to voice your objections. But tonight would be the night, if you have objections, specifically to state them, so that Rick does follow through if we can. Next month, when we reconvene, it'll be a little late then for people to hear it, right? Decide if you want to have objections and start over again. So if you have objections, they are naturally the ones that are written will be considered. If they're not written, you have no objections.
Well, how detailed is that?
Just objections as to why you think they're, you're objecting to and stuff like that. Mike?
Something in great detail, and I was rather vague because
The more information, the better.
I didn't purpose to put it all in there for the simple fact that let's put it in there. Well, that's a big way from the engineer.
If this hearing is continued to another date, you're welcome to file anything in writing between now and then. Of course, like Mayor is saying, if you do it on the night before, it's kind of difficult for the commissioners to take that into consideration, so the sooner would be better.
In my objection, I didn't mention anything about the CRP, the CP 33.
So you can sure follow up, and the sooner you can get something back in. If you want to get more information, that's great. That's what we want.
Because I can read something about measure exactly what this is.
The sooner we get it, the better we're.
Yeah.
You know, I would entertain a motion this time if we continue the hearing. You know, we will reconvene on July 1st at 5:30 p.m. If we need to do it in the same building anyway. We have a lot of people and stuff anyway, so this time, so this soon will be in here. So this will be the only notice that will be given. There will not be any written notices given out, so, you know, besides the minutes, it will be published or posted and stuff, but this will be the only notice that is given out. July 1st? July 1st. We have first and second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We'll take a short recess for a minute. Break to count people. All right, we're back. Now, we need a motion to reconvene as a full city council at 7:05. So moved. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Under new business, we will discuss the addition of one on-street parking space specifically for persons with disabilities in front of the senior citizen center.
The senior center has asked for the spot in front of the building the spot in front of the building be designated as a handicap parking spot. They feel that they need a few more around the senior center. One thing that I would also bring to the council, actually just came up, is there's been a request for additional handicap spots next to Little C's and Dollar General. We're saying just to move around the corner, get rid of the one that's main sides, put the one on Main Street so that they can drop a ramp off to the side because it would be the last one. Evidently, the two spots there aren't really conducive to using a handicap ramp. So, it'd move it around, it would take the Sumner Avenue spot, which I'm sure we'll get some complaints about that, but that's a request that came in. So, obviously the senior center, you know, there's a lot of folks with disabilities that use the facilities, so it's like a pretty common sense one. The other one you're losing to. What's
So this is Randy to the senior center.
Just moving it around the corner from the side street to the Sumner Avenue.
They're taking off some of the sections, right?
No, it's off, right now it's in the side street and we'll put it on Sumner. So that's the downside of that. Is you're losing another side.
Well, it's kind of related. I had somebody complain to me that this is not the city council.
Could you guys really speak up with the other talking that's going on? I can't hear you.
Just that, I don't even know, it's just the people who are working downtown are parking right on Main Street. And there's no place for people to park. Maybe just common sense, if you work downtown, maybe park on a side street. I mean, if you want customers to come in, then this isn't city council, but it kind of relates to we're robbing parking places. Not robbing, they need to be put in. There's a limited amount of parking. Just be conscious.
And that complaint's come in several times. I mean, just in the 2.5 years I've been here, I've heard it from many, many shop owners downtown. There's frustrations with employees parking on Main Street. You know, outside of the conversation, it's hard to do anything about that.
Do we have a motion? So moved. Can we take a motion? Or is it just a recent discussion?
Well, do we need a motion for this, or is it more just discussion?
I think we need a motion for the handicap.
Yeah.
Oh, we did? Oh, okay.
I don't know about if it's okay to go other than with this, it's not on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
But we can.
We can add it on the next one. Okay.
I'm sorry, we did have a motion, didn't we?
Yeah.
Second, okay. All in favor of adding an on-street parking space, one on-street parking space in front of the senior center, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we need a motion to approve a request by the Humboldt Area Arts Council for street closure for the 2013 Humboldt Arts Festival.
The street closures around John Brown are the same as previous years, and there's a sketch in the packet if you take a look at it. Leroy's already been made aware of it.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we need a motion to authorize myself to sign a 28E agreement with the North Central Correctional Facility for participation in an offender work program.
The offender work program is now requiring a 28E to participate. The offenders help from everything from emptying out the downtown buildings to emptying out the building that was demolished on 8th Street. We're meeting on the cemetery lawn. They're helpful in a lot of respects. The Parks Department is the main department that uses them, but they need the 28E to continue to use them.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And last, we need a motion to approve a request by Bank Isle for a parking lot and alley closure for a customer appreciation event.
The closure would only be the alley next to Bank, Iowa, directly across the street here, and the parking lot. Again, the sketch is in the packet. They might actually, as a follow-up, I'd say, they might actually come, if it does rain, come across and let some people sit over here, get out of the rain. So it's Wednesday, 5 to 7.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Under resolutions, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2013-52. A resolution approving pay estimate number 11 from Industrial Process Technology Incorporated of Fargo, North Dakota, in the amount of $450,609.24 for the 2012 Humboldt Water Treatment Plant Improvement Project.
Unfortunately, I have to report the water plant was not able to switch over to the well side due to electrical problems with the blowdown system. The clarifier and other equipment have all passed the tests. They've been shock chlorinated and should be put into operation when the electrical problems are fixed. We basically told IPT, because their electrician wasn't coming back, that we would get this fixed ourselves. They would have to deal with it because we need to get over to the well side. I've stressed this the last 3 council meetings. I think a lot of it was unforeseen circumstances that IPT had to deal with up until this point. And unfortunately, this might just be poor performance with one of their subs. It's slowed us up a little bit, but it is absolutely imperative that we get over to the well side because it's starting to get hot out and water usage continues to rise.
How soon will we go get it?
If it's not on right now, or tomorrow, everything else is ready. I mean, it's passed all the back T tests to go into operation, so it's just a matter of getting the last level off.
So moved. Second. Roll call vote.
Goodell.
Aye.
Slater. Baumgarten.
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Hager.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2013-53. A resolution approving contract change order number 3 with Industrial Process Technology Incorporated of Fargo, North Dakota for the 2012 Humboldt Water Treatment Plant Improvement Project for a net increase in the contract amount of $300,000 $3,644.04.
This change order replaces a run of pipe on the roof that was deteriorated to an unusable state. You could put your whole hand in the pipe, it was completely rusted out. The pipe was used to swap raw water for treatment from the well side to the spring side, or vice versa. And there's two other items in there changing the makeup of the door, very small items, but the majority of the 3,000 is just that.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Slater?
Aye.
Baumgarten?
Aye.
Rusher?
Aye.
Hader?
Aye.
Goodell?
Aye.
Under ordinances, we need a motion to approve a second reading of the following proposed ordinance. An ordinance designating a revitalization area for residential tax abatement purposes in the city of Humboldt, Iowa, and adopting a revitalization plan for residential tax abatement for the area pursuant to Iowa Code Chapter 404.
This ordinance, so this is the second reading for the ordinance that passes a residential tax abatement plan that was discussed at a previous meeting. Just as a reminder, it's the first $75,000 in assessed value, or half of a project up to $150,000.
Move to approve.
Roll call vote.
Baumgarten?
Aye.
Rusher?
Aye.
Hader? Goodell?
Aye.
Slater?
Oh, yeah, no, Joe had a portion of his tax abatement.
Next, we need a motion to approve the second reading of the following proposed ordinance. An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance of the City of Humboldt, Iowa by amending Chapter 92, Sections 7 and 9 pertaining to lien exemptions for non-payment utility bills for residential rental property and customer deposits.
This will increase the deposit requirements for renters at apartments that landlords have provided notice to the city that they will not accept responsibility for the tenant's water or sewer bill. Deposit will increase to an average of 90 days usage, approximately $300. Yeah, 150 on each side, water, and 150 on the sewer side. Again, this is just about making sure that folks that are not paying, that are letting the renters get away without paying their bills, that we can chase down that money, because it becomes incredibly difficult because we can't use property taxes assessment.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Rusher?
Aye.
Hader?
Aye.
Goodell?
Aye.
Slater?
Aye.
Baumgarten?
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the second reading of the following proposed ordinance. An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance of the City of Humboldt by amending Chapter 99, Sections 7 and 9 pertaining to lien exemptions for non-payment utility bills for residential rental property and customer deposits.
Simply the sewer side of the deposit change.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Hader?
Aye.
Goodell?
Aye.
Slater?
Aye.
Baumgarten?
Aye.
Rusher?
Aye.
And last, we need a motion to approve the first reading of the following proposed ordinance. An ordinance adding Chapter 8B to the Code of Ordinance of the City of Humboldt, Iowa by providing tax abatement for speculative buildings of the Humboldt County Development Association.
This ordinance will provide an exemption from property tax for the spec building at the Humboldt Business Park and future speculative buildings by the Humboldt County Development Association. Without the exemption, spec buildings would be nearly impossible to justify because many times they're held for several years before they are occupied. So this simply provides the opportunity for the Development Association to continue to put those buildings up and offer that to potential businesses.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Goodell?
Aye.
Slater? Baumgarten?
Aye.
Rusher?
Aye.
Hader?
Aye. With that, under communications, anything from the public in attendance this evening? Aaron, council and staff comments.
I think I'll do it tonight, nothing bad.
Maybe just, if you wouldn't mind, even take a few minutes, just a quick update on water tower, what we're looking at for that coming up.
Sure.
I had a few people ask about that stuff.
Sure. The water tower is nearly completed, completely painted. We've actually got the logos going on right now. it's kind of been a back and forth on the logo. We had looked at possibly angling it or keeping it directly north-south. After, tossing it around with the painting company, the water tower company, the engineer that's working on it, if you skew one a little bit, the letters start to run together because it's a very long name to put on a tower. And if you tilt it a little bit, it almost just looks like it's off-center. You didn't know which way north was. So the idea was to just put it directly north-south, then it lines up with the door, and you'll be able to see that tower for quite a ways down 169 and it'll be lit up pretty well. So that way it's visible from as far out as possible on 169 driving south. So that was kind of the debate that existed with the logo, putting that on. The interior's painted, everything's waiting on that project for the controls to come in to make the two towers to communicate and to be able to communicate to each other. I think that's still a little open-ended on when the actual delivery date for those controls will be. We've looked at the potential of having that tower come online so that some repairs can be done in the old tower, but the logistics or the technical difficulties that you're going to run into in trying to bring that tower online, you might end up with no tower online, which then you're trying to pump pressure to the system from the water plant, which a water plant renovation is probably not a good idea. So to ensure that we continue with the best chance for success, the idea is to wait until the controls come in. On the infrastructure project, all the road, you'll see the road patch portion that's been completed down next to 6th Avenue North, next to the fairgrounds.
Nice job.
It's a pretty strong slope, but the idea was there was a lot of ponding issues going on there, so it will drop off a little bit. At least the water will get down to that intake and get it away.
There was absolutely no, underneath when they dug the asphalt, there was absolutely no base, just dirt. So that's why it's broke up so bad down there.
Yeah. They are having some difficulties with that project because there's portions of that project, if you remember, that were valve replacements in the river or next to the river. Those are completely inaccessible at this point, so they can't do that. There was a tower replacement or a valve replacement next to the existing water tower that led to the discussions about bringing the new tower online. They can't do that because right now there's too many variables up in the air, and they need to have better control. And the other tower would give them that. So there's just some problems there with that project, but they'll close that out as soon as they can.
Quick update on Eagle Ridge, maybe.
Yeah, Eagle Ridge, very delayed. The rain has created a very muddy situation up there. I think they're starting to be able to get back up as soon as the weather holds out. It is delaying the utility company's ability to bore conduit under Elmhurst. Essentially everything up there has been ground to a screeching halt due to the fact that it is all dirt and you can't even get heavy equipment on it. So the hope is that they can kick that into gear pretty soon here, get some pavement, or get some base down, get some pavement down, and get folks in to start building homes. Right now, we're saying July. I really hope so. It's rain in the forecast, so I don't know if that will hold out. But yeah, we'll get them in there as quick as possible. We've talked about temporary power to get the builders started. There's a lot of folks who need to get started pretty quick here due to their current housing going away. So I think that that situation is probably not an option due to the fact that they have to upsize the utilities prior to getting into Eagle Ridge. So there's going to be a problem as far as getting temp power over there for 3 weeks, and then you've only got the benefit of adding maybe an extra 2 weeks of building time with a pretty substantial cost associated with it. So that was my comment. I told them to use a generator. They didn't like that comment. So.
Maybe last, just give us an update where we're at on Main Street. It doesn't look like that's progressing. as well, we hope anyway.
No, and Sand Construction's the contractor on, or the general on that job. They've got a subcontractor that they're working with that has been difficult for the engineering company and difficult for the general contractor, Sand, to nail down as far as times and performance and safety and you name it. The performance has been fairly poor. The goal now is to get the front as finished as possible by the portion that Sand has to perform, so that the landscapers can come in on the front portion, because that's where the vast majority of their work is. So that they're going to close it out so that they can both be on site at the same time, and then obviously trailing off to the backside. As far as getting done for the sesquicentennial, there's still a chance. It's very slim.
But at least we filled in and stuff.
It'll definitely be filled. I just don't know if there's gonna get, yeah. It'll be filled in. Well, it'll be much prettier than it is right now, but I don't know if it's gonna have the stamped concrete and landscaping and everything like that. But it'll obviously make that look
At least we're down.
Yeah. There's no, from the walls, I don't understand the walls, that situation, what's gonna happen, that doesn't look great to me.
they've got to peel off